So they put it for you. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, I remember I did that house. Yeah, and everything worked out good.
What did you have to do on that?
Yeah, they did in the crawl space. They had to basically do like a trench and treat down in there. I can't remember. It was a lot. It was pretty extensive in the crawl space, but at least it was above edge crawl. Yeah, worked out good for you. Usually my termite are like, you know, kind of headache, but you know, like I told you, I really try to hit the whole thing down before I leave the house.
Yeah, I want to go. That's one challenge of that. See, the whole
Red flag.
like I said,
I've been trying to get to a lot of times. Great on testing.
I was in Reddit.
Is that Florida? So I know
The virus,
What was it?
it was on radon test.
Oh, for NAC, okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell
It
me.
was above the 4.3.
Oh, right. Thank you.
I don't know what's going on. But now
We did it on the.
Hey, how'd the house go? My ex-husband's house just expired.
We'll see.
About 2 weeks ago. And mine
There you
Yeah. And you want to stand a little closer, like in the chair, you got a little camera. All right, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so Mr. Roger here with Northwest is going to give us a little opening thing, and if you didn't get anything to eat, there's stuff in the kitchen, right?
Yeah, we have donuts from Dutch Monkey, so eat it all up. Otherwise, I'm going to eat it throughout the entire day. So
Dutch Monkey, if y'all don't know, is a very good donut place.
yeah, very, very gourmet. But what I really wanted to do, I just wanted to introduce myself to everybody. I'm a new inspection specialist in the Forsyth Cumming area, so I don't know anybody. I don't really have a clue of what it all entails. So I'm learning and I'm getting out there and I'm putting myself in front of people. What we do and what we really separate Northwest away from any other company is that when you need a clearance letter, a warranty, or something that you're trying to either for the buyer or the seller, I will go out there and I'll do everything on an iPad and I'll get it to you before I leave that driveway. And you can't get any quicker than that. So I know time is always an essence with everybody. So I really just try to do what's right, get it to you as quickly as possible. And if anything ever happens in between, you just give me a call and we'll iron out the wrinkles. Any questions?
No, that's great. That was one of the best quick presentations.
Hey, I don't want to take up anybody's time.
I'm at a loss of words. That's awesome.
What do y'all typically charge for like the WDOs and the?
For our clearance letters, they're $45.
That's good. It's very reasonable. Okay.
We use Northwest at my house and we love your services.
Oh, very good.
Matt comes to our house about 1:32.
Oh, Matt Combs?
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good guy.
I bet he's a young kid, like perfect hair all the time.
All the time. Very
That's
true.
fair.
He's our pretty boy in the office.
Make sure you use 3 chairs.
Honestly.
All right, anything else outside of some handsome dude that works somewhere?
Yeah, we weren't talking about me.
All right,
Anything else? Thanks.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Y'all get those Dutch Monkey donuts.
Thank you for the donuts.
Thank you for the donuts.
All right.
Appreciate that.
And showtime is gonna be at the end time, so you can go ahead and sit down and just be patient.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So, one of the things that we wanted to talk about today, I've got 3 agents here. They're gonna be on a little panel here, and you're gonna be able to ask whatever questions that you want. And this is being recorded, right, Hiram? Okay, so it'll also be recorded. But the key thing is we want to look around and go, who's doing some phenomenal things? And to me, when somebody's been in the business less than a year and a half, or as in the case of Linda that moved here from another state and really had to start over with a sphere of influence and start from ground zero just like a new agent would. What are they doing? And bringing it relevant back to you guys and going, hey, you can ask whatever questions that you want. The three people that we're going to have up here today, they have been doing phenomenal things. We'll talk a little bit about their production, but let me first call up Miss Linda Jacobs. Come on up. Give Linda a round of applause. We've got Miss Lori Watkins.
Our fearless panel.
And we've got Miss Heather Byer. Siri calls you Heather Bayer, so.
Heather Bear.
Like, yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off with a couple of questions, and I'm gonna have to leave. I gotta go to Raven County to do a little presentation for my regional director stuff, which I've only got 5 months left on that. Hallelujah, then I can focus 100% on this. So, Robert, I've written down some questions that will help guide through, so that we had some consistency with the questions. So, Robert, I've got this up here. So this is gonna be raw. They don't know the questions that I'm going to ask. I want it to be real and raw from them, and just have it be straight flow from the mouth. I want them to be real. And what I think you'll find out of this group is each one of them is quite different. The way that they act, the way that they operate is significantly different. But there's one thing that they all have in common. They all get up every day and they get out there and work it, and work it pretty aggressively in their own styles. Now, I do have to say, Lori, we're going to limit you to 20 minutes per answer.
I just normally write in length, not talk in length.
No, I thought the way you said, okay, Lori, I'll keep on the video. I said, I've got to be walking out the door. I know this is going to be a 30-minute conversation when I cut it off at the beginning. So, anyway, you talk.
No
We're going to
worries.
have a timer on there for you.
No worries.
But here's the thing. They've all got something that I know that you can learn something from. And as the market goes, as you're sitting there going, how can I get things going? Whether you're a seasoned veteran or you're just getting started today, you're going to be able to learn something from each of them. And that's the important thing. So we're going to start with you, Linda. And why don't you, and each of y'all is going to handle this the same way. It's the same question, so I don't have to ask it again. We're just going to go right along the line here. So tell us your name, how long you've been in the business, and what did you do before you got your license?
Hi, everybody. I'm Linda Jacobs. I got my license a little less than 2 years ago. I started my business with Coldwell Banker in Minneapolis, did a little less than a year, and then decided I didn't want to live in Minneapolis for the rest of my life. So came to Alpharetta. I've been here, started in August in this office. Previous to this, played a lot of tennis. No. My career before was medical device sales.
Sales background. Okay. Lori?
I have
What's
had
your
my, Laurie Watkins. I have had my real estate license since January of 2014, so about a year and 4 months. Before this, I did business form sales. I've got a degree in sales and marketing from the University of Georgia, but I had 12 years off in the middle. So I did that right out of college. Did that for about 12, 13 years, raised my daughters, and then decided I wanted to get back into sales and enjoy people, and worked for a neighbor who had a healthcare company for about a year and didn't have the flexibility I wanted. So knew Terry for a long time, decided to get my real estate license, and here I am. So.
Heather Byer, I got my license January 2014. I was a stay-at-home mom to two fabulous daughters. And then I was in sales before this. Recruiting, people, the worst sales ever, much like this.
A lot of cold calling.
Lots of door knocking, lots of cold calling.
All right, so what I would like to know is, well, I'm going to start off with this one. Lori, we'll start with you.
Okay.
To date, what would you consider to be your best accomplishment since being in real estate related?
I feel like I'm connecting with people better. I'm not nervous making presentations like I was for probably 6 months. I don't feel like I need a script that much anymore. I just go in, I look at people, I have eye contact. I talk about them. It's always about them, about your clients. What are their needs and goals? And then I redirect my line of questioning to how I can help them achieve what they want to do. And most recently, I've gone up against a competitor in my neighborhood that for years had the majority of the business. And I was interviewed for the job like she did, and they interviewed other agents, and I happened to have won out on both of those. So I consider that a big accomplishment. I just want the opportunity to earn the business. And if I can get it, great. If not, then I want to know why so I can do better next time.
And I will say the agent that she's referring to worked very hard in the beginning and has built quite a name in the neighborhood, and actually took my position from me because I was not listing and selling actively. And so for Lori to be able to step up within you started doing your newsletters and stuff about 6 months ago, really, and stay consistent with the message. And now basically is starting to get calls as a result of the action. So her big accomplishment is going, hey, within 6 months to be able to step up and slap the other agent upside the head and say, I'm here and I'm going to take you down. That's kind of what she's saying. I know what she's saying because I've worked with her a good bit in there. So good job. All right, Heather.
I think that it's really important for me to figure out that I have to be very sincere, just be who I am totally. So if I go into somebody's house, I'm not going to be something different. I can't read from the script. I'm not going to go in and go over every page with you. I'm just going to be me. And either if I lose the sale, honestly, or if they don't pick me because you don't like my personality type, I'm fine with that, because at the end of the day, it's not going to make you happy. It's not going to make me happy. So I'm really, really good. And I think that I've been true to being who I am, and you either like it or you don't. And the people that like it really go for it, and it seems to work.
So what's your biggest accomplishment?
Doing that, like not having to be like, okay, I'm going to be like so in tune. I'm going to do it this way. I'm methodical. I'm going to do like A, B, and C. I just try to be like very, very true to who I am and sell through me and through my personality. So at the end of the day, I represent Century 21, but you're buying Heather Buyer for me.
Excellent.
You're buying the buyer.
That should be your tagline.
Yeah.
And tell them what you got cooking right now.
What that I'm stressing up here about to have a heart
Well, yeah,
attack about? What do I have cooking right now? I have 2 closings today, or
Well, yeah, how they're all intertangled.
oh yeah,
Pretty slick.
Jeff. Yes. Oh, I saw represent the seller in one, and then represent the seller as a buyer on another one, where the buyer's buying from my seller. Does that make sense? And it's all running a day late. My heart's about to explode any minute now. But yeah, it's good stuff. And I also got $1 million deal off of door knocking.
$1 million deal off door knocking. What are the prices of the 3 deals that you got right there?
709, 420, and then they're going to an 8 something.
That's a good year for some people. Excellent. And while she's having a heart attack, that they're easily lined up to close right now.
Yes,
But
they're going to. Thank you, Fidelity Mortgage.
But they're going to, and the bottom line is sometimes with the larger deals, you might have things that happen that aren't in the smaller deals. And with that becomes issues with things that can pop up at the last second with lending and stuff that you don't control. So it's part of the dollars on that one. Linda?
Making the wall, being on the wall fourth quarter last year. I was pretty proud of that. And then I fell off the wall first quarter. I'm Humpty Dumpty. And that's my own darn fault. And so my goal is to get back on the wall.
So you made the wall. And how long had you been licensed that you made the wall?
1 year, exactly.
And how long were you working it where,
Probably take 3 months out of that with the move and everything. And then the first, 1 or 2 months just getting started, figuring it out. So 6 months.
yeah, so once she got really started, it was about 6 months that she made the top 10 for the last quarter of last year, which was a phenomenal feat to make it that quick. And the thing that I like that she said, you know what, I don't want her to, it eats her alive that she's not on the wall each quarter now that she's had that taste. So
She tells me all the time she's
I
going
know.
to take me off the wall.
I want to be Heather. I want to grow
She's
to be Heather.
consistently like, I'm going to get you. I'm like, get it, come on.
We get friendly.
Yeah, it's very friendly. I love competition.
all right, let me ask you this. Everybody's got their own styles, as you've all admitted. What do you do, we'll start with you, Heather, that really is your source of business. I mean, how do you get your business going and active? You don't just sit there and wait for the phone to ring, right? Or do you?
No, I don't.
So describe what you do to go out there and start making business happen. Some people will say, call expired. I know you're not an expired caller, but you've done some door knocking. What are the things that you go, hey, this is really the formula that makes me get business? What is that?
I go to a lot of functions and I listen, honestly, because I hate salesy people. Like when all they talk about is real estate, and it makes me insane. I think it's so boring because I don't care. But I go and I listen. Like one person was talking and she was like, we have a lot of equity in our house. Our son's really sick. No. This was at a Georgia game. We had been drinking for 5 hours. I didn't say anything about it. But then the next day I reached out to her. I'm like, you're in Lambert. Your community is ridiculous. Let's think about putting your house on the market. Let's pull the equity out. You pay your medical bills. And I got a listing like that. So I think a big part of it is just being a part of the community and listening, but not being super salesy. Does that make sense?
Yep, that makes sense.
And then I had another client in Laurel Springs. They pulled their house off the market because they couldn't find anything they wanted, which is withdrawing a house is like getting stabbed in the heart for me. So I'm like, where do you want to live? And then I said, give me 5 houses in Laurel Springs where you want to live. And they were like, well, I like this one. I like this one. I like this one. So I went to the bakery. I bought a bunch of little individually wrapped pet fours, and I went and knocked on these people's doors. And I'm like, hey, I'm your neighbor. You don't know me, but would you like to sell your house? And everybody was nice. They all want to give you the tour. Nobody slammed their. And as it turns out, one of those people did want to sell their house. So now my house that is withdrawn is now buying a house that wasn't even on the market. There you go. And then they think I'm a rock star. They think I'm a rock star. I'm like, and my other ones, I'm like, give me 5 houses in here you want, and I'll go knock on their doors. 5. I don't care. Whatever. Just give them to me. I'll go. What are they going to do? Be mean to me? Who can be mean to me? Who can be mean to me? And if they are, I don't care. So I think that's part of it. Just listen and don't be salesy.
What do you do to be involved in your community?
Go to stuff, I sponsor stuff, I go to the community events, I do the Easter egg hunts, I go hang out at the pool when I don't want to. Anything that's involved in the community, I try to go do it if I can. And it's not like I'm out there all the time, but I'm out there a pretty good bit. And it's not like I'm out there looking nice. I'm out there in yoga pants and just talking to moms and being very, very real, but not being salesy.
Socially engaged.
It's very socially engaged.
Linda?
Well, what helped me be successful in the fourth quarter was getting both sides of transactions. And we chatted about this a little bit. And I think what's the national average for both sides of the transactions? Like 5% or something like that.
That's low.
What is it? 20%. Okay, so I get about 50% of my transactions, I get both sides.
That's awesome.
And so that
Now, did y'all hear that?
makes it easier.
50% of her transactions, she gets both sides. So if you sell both sides and you're getting 50%, you don't have to work too terribly hard, although you do. But you said, I said, how do you get 50%? Because I've never heard of anybody having 50% that has reasonable volume. And she said, here's my strategy. So I know she wants to share this with you because it's actually pretty,
It's
she got it
super
down,
simple.
so.
It's 2 steps. When you're doing an open house or you're showing a property that you have listed, when you're showing the house, take one moment and talk about your sellers. And don't share personal information. Simply say, they're such nice people. They're my favorite clients. They're so smart. They're so easy to work with. Whatever you feel like saying, but compliment the sellers and make them reasonable, nice people that you want to do business with. And then you just sort of plant the seed in the back of the buyer's head. Oh, this will be an easy transaction. This won't be difficult. This will be easy to work through. And then after they see the house, either once or twice, you say, you really like the house, don't you? Yeah. Well, instead of saying, do you want to sign a contract? Don't say any of those scary words. Say, let's sit down with a piece of paper and scribble it out. So you just sit down with a blank tablet and say, so when would you want to move in? So how much would you want to put down? So, and you just sort of walk through, well, you want to do an inspection, right? Okay, so let's put 14 days for the inspection. Okay, so, and you just sort of walk through whatever's on the first page of that purchase agreement. And then when you get finished, they've sort of mentally walked through the process of buying this house. So you get all your notes done, and then you just say, well, how about I write this up and send it over to you? And it's really that simple. They really like the house. They just don't know what to do next, and they're not ready to sign a contract. So don't ask them to sign a contract. Just scribble it out on a piece of paper.
Now, so how do you go out there? Oh, by the way, I have to say this. This is pretty funny. I asked Heather, I said, have you sourced your business? And she goes, do what? And I said, y'all know what I'm asking when I say, have you sourced your business? That means go and say, let me trail this to the end and find out where did this lead originate from, right? So I said, I asked, have you sourced your business? She goes, what are you talking about? And I was like, that's what I love about her. So she was just going with it. But hers comes from relationships, door knocking, which doesn't door knock a lot, do you?
3 times.
That's not a lot.
Oh, okay. I think 40
That's
times.
probably 3 times
She's
more than most of them.
She's tried different things, but anyway, Lori.
I really work my sphere of influence. Now I did call an expired, and I've got a closing with an expired on May 26th. So that was good. I do, like Linda, try to work both sides of the equation and have done that pretty well this year. But I'm very involved in my church. I'm very involved in my neighborhood. I'm very involved in my kids' sporting activities. Both of my daughters are coaches on the neighborhood swim team, so I make an appearance up there. Several past clients of mine I see on a Wednesday or Friday night at the buffet. I see at swim practice. I see at church. And it's nice now because instead of me calling everybody all the time, I'm getting calls. And I've got advocates for me. Hey, I just heard so-and-so's moving. You might want to call them. And I've got people actively calling me. I stay in touch with, I don't have that many past clients yet, so it's very easy for me to stay in touch with them. One lady, Terry knows very well, I talk to her on a weekly basis, and she's constantly looking out for me and directing things my way. And I actually went to the preacher at my church and I said, I'm a real estate agent with Century 21 and I want to help people. So if there's anyone in here that has a situation that they need to get out of or need help with, I discreetly and confidentially would love to help anyone in my church. And I'm talking to 2 families now just by mentioning that to my priest. So I'm not a pressure person. I interviewed for one job and had a listing agreement and she didn't want to sign it that day. And I said, that's fine. And it got kind of hairy for about 4 or 5 days. And I thought maybe I messed up, and she came back to me. And I just try to work the people that I know, and then those people know people. So for me, it was a lot of calling expireds. It was a lot of cold calling, door knocking for like that first year. I mean, I went 6 months without making a dime the end of last year, but everything is paying forward this year. And so if I'm able to help somebody and that person can help somebody else, it just pays forward all the way through. So that's what I keep trying to do.
Sometimes people are doing things and you're not getting the payoff, or you feel like you're not getting the payoff, and they quit right before things could have started falling in line. And I got to tell you, there was days where Lori probably called about in tears because she'd spent months and months and months working full time in business and seeing things fall apart. She'd get things going, things would fall apart. It's a very frustrating process to go through because you don't get a paycheck every 2 weeks in this business, as you all know. So
just things out of my control. Like, we, on the last day of the contract, and Jeff helped me with this one, I had to terminate because they found out they had debt they had no idea they had. And it messed the whole deal up. And before we could get it straightened out, the house was already back under contract again. And I had worked with them for like 3 months. So I had a lot of things lined up in that last 6 months, but none of them panned out. But I was discouraged. And then I just said, okay, I'm going to change my attitude about this and take a deep breath and, do the best I can each day. And what happens is what happens. So, yeah. And I guess it's up to everybody how much they want to really work at it. I have
a question. Do you get 6% off of that? Is that too nosy of me? That's a good
you
question.
can ask whatever you want. And
Do you
don't
get
have to
6
answer
or do you cut them a
everything.
deal?
Sometimes, and Terry and I have talked about commission a lot, so sometimes I get 6%. I never offer to reduce my commission. I hear people in the office saying, well, I'll list it for 6%, but if I sell both sides, I'll take 4 or I'll take 5. Never give away your commission. We work hard. You earn every penny. If the contract says 6%, you deserve 6%. Now, if you do end up bringing the buyer and they push back really hard and they say 4%, then you say 5%. They say 5%, you say 5.5. Do, 5 and 5.25. You don't have to give up a whole percentage. Multiply out what a whole percentage is on the sale of these properties. It's a lot of money. Stop giving it away.
I agree.
And everything's negotiable, so cut that. Go ahead, share what you were saying about it.
Yeah, no, Brian Buffini had I never thought of it this way, but sometimes if you talk 0.5%, whatever, $500,000 home, 0.5% is $2,500. So you could say, hey, why give up 0.5%? You could say, I tell you what, I will kick in $1,500. Because $1,500 sounds a lot more than 0.5%. So if you take it out of the percentage things and go, hey, know your math ahead of time, and then just throw out a number, 1,000, 2,000, whatever, as opposed to giving away percentage or 0.5%, it can sometimes work out a lot better.
That sounds
for you.
better. That's a better way to do it. I always divide and divide and divide, but I think so.
Doesn't that sound better? I'll kick in $2,500 as opposed to 1% of a 5.
I like 1,500.
But can I share one more thing? I've done what Heather was talking about with door knocking. If somebody says, this is where I want to live, and you go to MLS and there's nothing on the, nothing in MLS, I've called like a whole section. I've called everybody in Harbor Ridge. So.
Question for you, Linda, because these two obviously practicing a lot of social engagement. Didn't hear that from you, but I did not hear it from you. Do you practice, like she said, I go to anything. If it's socially motivated out there, I'm going to go and be a part of it because she knows she's got to get her name out there.
She's more popular than me though. Look how cute she is.
Sounds like she's by purpose. Do you go get socially engaged on a high level, or how do you?
Yes, well, so I'm buying advertising for the first time. I've never done that before. But yeah, I plan on volunteering at the swim team in Windward this summer, just working the desk, checking in the moms and the kids and all that stuff. I used to play a lot of tennis. I haven't been doing that lately. But yeah, book club, just, yeah.
Okay. I got to go, but I highly recommend to you guys, pay attention to what they're doing. One of the things that you guys have to make a choice of is if you're in the business, get out there and let the world know that you're in the business. I don't like going out there in a very salesy way. We had an agent, Sarah Gunleski, she was with RE/MAX. Sarah, Sarah. She, on Halloween, she'd be there passing out her card with a little piece of candy, and it's like, I never wanted to be that. I want to be a service to the community and build a relationship type business that people would want to come to me and ask questions about the real estate market. Is what I call party talk. But none of them said, I really don't do anything. It's spend money and it's getting socially engaged out there and finding your little wedge in the world out there of real estate. If y'all need anything from me, email me, text me, or call me. I'm heading up to DC today. I got to go up to Raven County, make a presentation, and I'm on painkillers from my back, so it's a good day.
Oh, that's good.
I'm floating pretty good right now. Y'all have a good morning. I need to get a little cup of coffee to wake up a little bit.
All right, see you,
Robert, you
John.
got a question?
There you go.
Are we done?
Your car as your attorney. Don't go get in your car.
Tell me Uber's here.
When you're high,
Uber.
don't go get in your car. That's exactly what he's gonna do. There's no question.
You can ask a question. Then we'll make up a question.
I've got a question. I know you were saying it took you 6 months, okay? How long did it take you, Linda? And once you got started, and did you get to that point where you think, damn, I'm just keep beating my head against this wall, nothing's happening?
Everybody feels that.
But I
Yeah.
mean, was yours 6 months, 8 months, 3 months?
I would say about 6 months too. Yeah.
Heather?
I think mine's just been spread out a little bit.
Yeah? When you say spread out?
I mean, I had some closings in the beginning just from friends and people that knew me. And then it just started to ramp up more than that. I really tried to dig my heels into higher priced properties because I think I'm good at talking about those and just talking about the features of it and selling it to people. So I tried to go for larger price points, maybe not as much volume, but the higher price points. Not to say I wouldn't sell anything, because I would,
Right.
but if there was a place that I had to focus on, that's what I chose to focus on.
When I first started, I worked a lot of open houses because I thought they were fun. It was just like hosting a party. And my broker looked at me and said, great, what are you doing the other 6 days a week? So figure out what you're good at and do it, but you have to do a little bit of everything. So postcards work, open houses work, door knocking works, cold calling works, calling expired works. It all works. You just figure out what you are the best at and what your gift is.
But in the beginning, I would like going to somebody's house and I'm like, holy crap, can they see how scared I am? Like I went on one appointment with Rob and I was scared out of my pants. It was just like, but that's when I had to become super okay with just going in and being mean. If I don't have any answer, that's okay. I'm not going to be nervous. I'm like, I don't know. I'll find out for you. I think that people can read whenever you feel good about you and you feel confident. And I think that those are people that even if you can BS it, that you don't know it, they feel confident for you to handle their situations. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Speak from confidence, and if you don't know, say you don't know, figure it out.
So, have any of you invested in signage or brochures, or what do you do for photography?
I always use a professional photographer. Always, always, always. I look at pictures on the internet and go, if the seller saw these pictures, he would fire you. I just think photography is extremely important. I'm buying ads for the first time. When I was in Minneapolis, I was kind of all over the board. And when I came down here, I focused on a neighborhood. And so they have a, sort of a bi-monthly newsletter. So I'm buying a half a page ad in that. So it's just exposure.
I sponsor a big party in my neighborhood. It's called Front Porch Fridays. We hire a band. They serve a lot of wine and beer and some light appetizers. With that, and it's not a cheap process in any way, shape, or form, but it gets my name on a board. Every time you drive out of Laurel Springs, you see Heather Beyer and Jeff Zuloff are sponsoring this. And it gets my name in the magazine because there's a monthly magazine, so it gets my name in the magazine, which is actually cheaper than buying the stupid magazine space because it's so expensive. And I go there, I don't drink, honestly, because when I'm working, I don't have cocktails because I want to be able to talk to somebody if they want to talk to me. But I'm there, I'm present. I don't talk about real estate, but there is a banner there that says, sponsored by Century 21 and Fidelity Mortgage. And I don't know per se if it's gotten me business, but I don't know if anybody seeing me just walk around my pool with my ball cap on would know that I'm a real estate agent. But then you do, and you make that connection. Oh yeah, she had the Front Porch Fridays. So I think it just makes the community aware that I'm out there because there's like 2 big realtors in my neighborhood and they've owned it for 100 years. So I just wanted to get in there and take some of their business. And that's a good way to. And I have. And then I always have a professional photographer in there because I think that it just makes the sellers feel. I do a video for them. I don't do it, but I hire somebody. I do the big double printed glossy brochures and whatnot. Everybody always oohs and ahs over them. And I do all my own signage. I bought the big fancy signs, so I put those out.
How much is that video rent?
Oh, God. I think it's like $145 for everything.
Here's what I would challenge y'all, and because I looked at them last night, go look at their listings online, and then go back and look at your own, because theirs look awesome. And I was thinking about each of them, and it tends to be a common thing. When any one of these people has a new listing, you know what? We know it. It's a big deal, and they're going to get it right. And it's always like papers flying, but it's pretty consistent. I don't care what the personality is. Because I could about name each of them the last 3 listings that they got. And I thought, each one is a big deal. And I think that's a pretty important component.
Mm-hmm.
Are we on to the next question?
Yep.
Oh boy, that's a good one. How do you manage your time? Do you block or have specific days and times for doing specific activities? We'll start with you, Linda.
Oh, damn. Deb, do this. No. Deb has been telling me for months, time block, time block, time block. It is my weakness. I'm not very good at time blocking, but I do get up, get dressed, and show up every single day. I work every single day. But Do I don't manage my time that well. Start with somebody else, go.
Well, that's an area that I could definitely improve in as well. I try not to be. I'm a very proactive person by nature, but I get derailed when something goes wrong and I'm reacting to a situation, and then I've got to come back and say, I start every morning like you. I'm up, I'm dressed, I take my kids to school, spend that time with them, get breakfast and get them on their way. Then I come back with a legal pad. This is what I want to accomplish today. And I write it down, what I want to do. I start making phone calls, emails, and inevitably, I had a friend that would not answer her phone because she did a time block, like 9 to 12, and just refused to answer her phone. And I was saying, she's not in real estate, but I was thinking to myself, how rude is that? but then she returns all of her phone calls in the afternoon, but she has blocked, whether it's an hour, 2 hours, or whatever. I haven't gotten that far yet. I probably need to try to figure that out. I guess I just respond to what's thrown at me during the day.
What I have gotten better at, when I was brand new, a client would call and say, can you come over today? Yes. And I don't do that anymore. Now I say, no, I have appointments. How's Thursday? And Thursday's usually fine.
Right.
You don't have to jump when they say jump.
Right.
I've gotten better at saying, I have appointments. And you know what? They want to work with busy realtors.
That's what my agent says.
They don't want you to be available you must not have any other clients.
Right.
So if you say, no, I'm
Right.
booked today and tomorrow, but Thursday works, they'll be, okay, Thursday.
Right.
So don't overreact.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The time management is, to be successful, you have to have good time management, and I'm still working on that, so.
Ms. Byer, how do you schedule your time?
I don't. Honestly, the most important thing to me is going to the gym every day, because that is what keeps me sane and I can eat whatever I want. So that's why I'm always wearing a ball cap. But I go, and I have a 3-year-old, so it's hard because she's, I have somebody that helps me. But anyway, I get up and I go to the gym every morning, and I don't think about anything. I don't answer my phone. I don't look at it. And then I come in here and I try to focus and just get my stuff done. But I should time block, because I'm a really, really bad scheduler. I haven't missed any deadlines. I'm just kind of always running at 90 miles an hour. But I take care of what I need to do for me first, and then I can get on with the rest of my day. Work-life balance. Believe in it.
All right, Lori, we'll start with you.
Okay.
In your mind, what separates you from others?
I think everybody just has to be, Heather highlighted on this too, you just have to be who you are and project who you are. And if that's good enough for somebody, great. If you don't get it, get the listing or don't get the buyers, then find out what you could improve on, and just be yourself and be satisfied with what you can accomplish in a day. And everybody gets sideways sometimes, things happen, but just be yourself, because that's who they're going to like and want to do business with. So.
Linda?
I think just working hard. I think I put in the time, do the work. We all do that though, so. I don't know,
I will
that's a
have
hard
to
one.
confess one thing. When you came from Minneapolis, I was just telling Rob, I thought you'd been an agent for many years.
No, when,
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I do get that.
now I'm
I
even
get that
more
comment
impressed.
quite a bit. They think that I've been in real estate a lot longer than I
it's
have.
because I'm old.
No,
No.
no, you project yourself with confidence, and that just takes time. It just takes as many appointments as you can make, as many phone calls as you can, just takes time. So,
Take it till you make it.
Ms. Byer?
Make it to make it.
What was it? The best thing?
What
was it?
separates you from other folks?
I think you have to have a good attitude. I think you have to come in every day and put on your big girl panties and have a good attitude and be nice to people. And if you put out positive energy, you get positive energy back. And,
Big girl
you know,
panties.
you gotta. Yeah. Yeah, I'll look you up. But I think you just have to have a really good attitude. You have to be positive, and I think that's something that I've always been good at. And just making the best out of every situation, because not every situation is fabulous. Some of them are really crappy. But if you just nice about it, be nice to people, it'll come back.
Hey, no one wants to be with a loser.
Nope.
I have something taped to my mirror right now, and it says, proceed as if success is inevitable. And that's, if you act like that every day, not like I'm scared to death, oh my God. You sell a couple, then you don't have any listings, and then the biggest problem is, for me is my business gets busy and then I don't have anything, and then I have a lot and then I don't have anything. So having business and prospecting at the same time, getting some consistency over the 12 months is hard. So proceed as if success is inevitable.
And pay your taxes quarterly. I learned that you pay your taxes quarterly. Pay your taxes quarterly. No, I just had to write a check.
They want it large.
I don't think you can do it penalized, so you don't have to do them every quarter. Unless, if you can manage your money and just pay it.
Yeah, I like to
You
do
do have
that.
to write a nice check.
You pay
I
a
like to-
higher rate for Social Security contribution,
Oh, did
and
you?
if you're not paying FICA, yes, you do. So that probably brings it,
CPA again.
we probably need to get a tax person in here again to sort of help everyone sort through everything.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, many people have different interpretations of that. I got my own spanking in an S corp that I had to untangle. And
Go by.
yeah, the high priced accountant had me do. And wow, yeah, that was about $50,000 later.
Nice.
With my wife and Mr. Swanson in an S corp together. That was quite an untangling. So, any other questions for these guys? Nothing? I do just have to tell y'all one funny thing, and I thought I still had it on my voicemail. One of these people is in the office just about every Saturday morning. Just about every Saturday morning, the alarm trips. So I answer, tell them not to come, but here's the best part. I had told that person I could see them on Google Maps when they pull up. They drove a different car one Saturday. I had the message on my phone that said, it's me, I'm in my husband's truck, don't call the sheriff. I was going to play it today, and my voicemail got full of
I was like, don't call me again. My body came angry telling me. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting with my kids and I played that, we were horse laughing.
Real funny. Real funny.
What's going on Saturday morning? Just catching up,
Mhm.
getting organized?
I can't work with my kids in the house. I have an office and they just sniff me out, so I have to come here. They do. They won't let me alone.
Well, hey, let's give these guys a hand. I think each of them on the board here coming up shortly. All right, so everybody know about training next week? It'll be good, it'll be long, we'll try and make it fun. So here's what I hope we'll really get out of the training. You know, 'cause we're flying Miguel in from the corporate office. She does a great job, but what I think she'll do is dumb it down for everyone, and we try to get just the components that are the most important that can have an immediate impact for you. Does that make sense? So we don't care who you bring with you, there's a couple things you need to do. And don't beat yourself up if you don't have them thus far. First thing you need to do is know how to sign on to Century 21 online, have all your passwords ready. You don't want to spend your time sitting here going, and you can't do anything. Bring a laptop with you. We'll have power as much as we can for everyone. We should have plenty of Wi-Fi. And you're going to be able to set some stuff up and make it live as we go. Does that make sense? Anybody got any questions? You know, I will have to say, the varsity truck canceled on us yesterday.
No, that's terrible.
Well, you know what? I don't know what happened. So anyway, we're having Slopes Barbecue.
Okay, that works.
So trying to find a food truck at the last minute to come to Forsyth County is a little tough. So I had Sarita and Sandy practicing saying, what do you have? And going to have them stand in the back of Rob's truck. And Sarita was like, okay, I'm done with that. I think I baked them on the Waffle House hats last time. So any questions about next week? So if you were coming, please let Rose know. And we've had quite a few people sign up, so probably what we're gonna do is use this room and the bullpen. So everyone can actually have a place to sit down and sort of work through it. So, no questions, y'all think good training, bad training?
It was good. This was good.
What about next week? Is that what y'all want, or? I mean, it's not too late to, we'll do it whatever anyone wants.
No, she's good. Is that the same lady from last year? That was that hotel in Alpharetta?
Yes.
Okay, she's good.
She does a great job. And we've been waiting probably, I don't know, 2 months to try and get Catherine here. So I think you guys will be really pleased. But here's what I'm going to tell you, and oh boy, I haven't told Terry this yet. So I'm assuming this will fly. So here's one thing we're going to do, and Rob and Deb, you'll take part in this as well. You know, one thing that I think there's so many tools and so many options for you. I think if you were to go ask Deb about any or all, there's a couple that she does fantastic with. I think the same is true with Rob. I think the same is true with Sandy, Sarita, or Katie, or with Hyra. So here's what we're going to do. Each one of these folks is going to own one component of it, and you're going to go to them to get it up and running and to make sure you really have, because you know what will happen, you'll get all excited, you're going to go, boy, I'm going to do all this, and then you get home and you go, what do I do? What happened? So, and it's too much for one person to be the expert at all. So we're going to divide and conquer, and I'll take one myself, because I sort of realized, trying to log on a couple things, and my password had expired. You know what? Shame on me. Y'all know how I found out about Real Satisfied? And she was very kind but didn't admit it. Amanda Staines had already set hers up and emailed me and said, hey, you're the administrator. I can't get mine going into your own. And I'm like, huh? I didn't even know. And I'm like, me? I don't think so. I'm like, I don't even know what that program is. Yeah, it was in my spam. So that was a little embarrassing. So I thought, I guess I better take some ownership, and it's one thing to talk about it and not really know what we're doing. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
So what else? Anything else on training or something we're missing? Well, y'all are awfully easy. You can tell it's into school. Is everybody just cooked?
Pretty much.
Yeah, if I go to one more jubilation at the high school, I think I'm just going to have to slit my throat. There's just too many awards. Good Lord. I sat in the auditorium last night. Huh?
It's graduation.
I don't even know.
That's another.
Here's the 23rd. It is here.
You know what? I'm trying to do it 1 week at a time. All I know is I got to go to something Thursday night and Friday night. I'm just going, God, let it in. What happened to your parents just dropping you off of the go to school?
Really?
And my daughter and I were sitting there last night, and I told Stephanie, I was like, if you'd had an award thing like this, I'd have probably made Josh quit school. I couldn't have done this again. So anyway, so mortgage?
Showtime.
Well, all right with your pink socks, you're moving.
Somebody's got to do it. Step away from the panties, right? Was it the big girl panties? I want the socks instead. I chose the socks today.
I like it.
Wow.
Anyways, rates are on the rise right now. Good news, right? Pipeline protection, we talked about that, no? Bad news? All right, anyways, the bond market's been selling off. There's really no rhyme or reason why. The 10-year bond went up to over 2.25 now. So about 2 weeks ago, we were 1.8, 1.9, and it's just steadily gone up. Stock market's doing well. Yellen spoke at the chair meeting and said they're not going to raise rates in June like they had expected on prime rate. So really no rhyme or reason, but we're just riding the wave here. Right now, we're without any points right at 3.99 on a 30-year. So, rates are a little higher. We were at 3.625 about a month ago, and we kind of stabilized at 3 3/4 with 0 points. They can still get 3.75, but So if they were shopping, looking for homes a month ago, this is what it's gonna cost them. If you're doing a $400,000 loan and they wanted 3.75, now it's gonna cost them a point. So 1% is $4,000. A lot of money, right? $4,000 just in the last few weeks. So I've been paying attention to the bond market daily, and I'll send you guys out a rate sheet as well. But one thing I did want to talk to are some do's and don'ts of the mortgage process. You know, the three ladies got up here and talked about their successes and you know, how everything's going. But, you know, there's some frustrating things to the business too. We can lose deals. Lori talked about a buyer that we worked on I was only a part of it for about a month and a half. You were with them for 3 months, but didn't file their tax returns. We found out at the end, had some debts they didn't tell us about. So, you know, there's some things, do's and don'ts in our business that we need to talk about. I'm gonna pass these around.
And Ms. Buyer, what would you recommend that a buyer not do after they go to contract to buy a home?
I wouldn't buy a $120,000 car. I wouldn't lease a car with $800 car payment. I wouldn't open new credit cards to get free shipping on Amazon. And I would send your realtor something so she could roofie herself at night and sleep, because it's the most terrible process ever. But yeah, that's just all in 2 days. So don't do any of the above things. Don't mess with your credit.
And like Robert has said, she's on the, you know, this chain of 3 different events going on, and, you know, if something can fall through on one of them, it can knock the whole chain out. You're talking anywhere from, if it cost you $5,000, that would hurt your pocketbook, right? But this could cost, I don't know, maybe $50,000. So a lot of money riding on these things. And so if you look at the list here, we touched on some of them, but one of the things, and Rob Scanlon gave me this list, which was great. And I said, you know what, this pretty much encompasses it all. I'm gonna make a copy and share it with you guys. And you may want to share it with your buyers, but not to change jobs or become self-employed or quit your job. That's pretty important. You kind of have to have some income. Next one, don't buy a car, truck, van, boat, or you may be living in it. I thought that was pretty funny. Everybody I've told that to, they got a chuckle out of that one, but it's true. I mean, this guy that bought the BMW $800 lease payment, well, we bailed him out, but he could have been living in that car for a while. Don't use your charge cards excessively or let your accounts fall behind. At an FHA loan, we get debt monitoring. Once they go under loan application, we pull their credit. They go under debt monitoring until the loan closes. We get anything that comes in. I'll get a thing that says unsecured debt monitoring. They just opened a Chase card. I'll get a little thing and it says this is what this is who hit their credit. I have to call them, hey, did you open up some new credit? Sure enough, they did. Or if they get a late payment on a credit card, we get something saying, hey, you just went late on your credit card, trying to get you a loan. Your credit score just dropped 80 points. You don't qualify. Happened to me last month.
How much would a late pay drop it?
To drop it anywhere from 50 to 100 points, just depends. They had a 60-day late, and I called them. I said, what's going on, man? You're about to close the week. Well, we couldn't log in online. It was called WebBank. We couldn't get into the account, so we just, just did it. Exactly. Get on the phone, call these people, and he said, well, I logged in so many times, and it was wrong, so it just blocked me out. I'm like, well, it's about to block you out on the mortgage. Yeah, so it almost cost them. We actually were able to pay off some of their debt and rescore in like 3 days and get score up about 620 again, and I got the deal done. But then some companies, when I worked at Citibank, you're stuck with the score you got, so we're able to rescore, which is nice at Fidelity. So, so don't let your bill fall behind. Don't spend the money you have set aside for closing. That's important too. You don't have the money for the down payment. There is no closing. Don't admit debts or liabilities for your loan application. Again, Lori knows about that one. I think we're going to hit about all of these with you guys, and most of you have probably been through some of these. Don't buy furniture prior to closing. Had a guy do that, opened up a Rooms To Go and Macy's card all at the same time. So it causes more work. They got to go get us a copy of the statement. We have to put the statement in, rerun the debt to income ratio, run it back through the automated underwriting system, see if they still qualify. I mean, it causes me a lot of work. My process is a lot of work. The borrowers are getting ticked off because they got to do all this work. But I mean, if they just do these things up front, then they don't have to do that.
Yeah, there's probably a bigger issue if they're shopping at Rooms To Go.
don't originate inquiries, we talked about that, number 7. Number 8, no large deposits. So I had a guy, and in their culture, they drop, they loan money to their family, and then they do it all in cash. So the guy's $5,000 in cash and a checking. And so we have to source any large deposits. If it's more than 25% of their gross income, we need to see where the money come from. We can see the payroll-related deposits, where it's from, but so guys like, that's cash. My brother gives me cash. We loan money among the family. All right, now your checking account is $10,000, just back out 5. Now you only got 5, you can't close. So, guy, we got creative again. I said, so your Rolex watch, she sold it. We documented it on eBay. How we sold it, yep. The PayPal account, we were able to establish the value of the watch, and we were able to get them.
Probably fake one.
No, it was a real one. And he also sold some gold bullion. We were able to sell some bullion, so. Shut that one.
The person with the Rolex and gold bullion is struggling to qualify for loan?
He was.
That's why he's been on that money on Rolex.
Golden one. 3 bars, right, line them up.
He sold it, we documented it, so.
We don't accept that.
No, you don't.
We went and got the currency charts and everything, we showed what the value of the gold was, and we were able to qualify it, so. Don't change bank accounts and don't co-sign a loan for somebody else, because it'll show up on credit too, so. These are the things right here that'll keep you out of trouble, having those talks with your buyers up front. I'm actually gonna start sending this with my loan checklist of the items we need. That's right.
And I can add one, this happened to me last week. Nowhere, if you're working with an investment broker, nowhere they're investing your money. I had a client who was ready to write contract on a house, and she thought she had this money, and her investment broker put it in a Roth IRA. And she would have paid a 45% penalty to take it out. And she thought it was liquid. And I couldn't write the contract because she didn't have down payment money. And by the time it took her to figure it out, the house was under contract. So if you're working with it, if your clients are working with an investment broker, make sure they know what their investment, what they're signing off on, and where their money is. If they are getting ready to buy a house and they think it's accessible, and then they find out that it's not, she was very upset. She signed it, put all of it, but she didn't realize what she was doing.
Well, there's people can borrow against their 401k, and then we'll usually get the terms and conditions of the withdrawal from them, and it'll be spelled out in there. That's usually like a 5-page document. We can go through and see if there's any tax penalties, if they want to borrow against it, or if they just want to pull money out. We'll try and get that up.
This one didn't. I had this one was dead.
And
For that reason, she thought she had to have.
Well, she would have had a 45% penalty.
She wasn't willing to do that.
No, I don't blame her.
She wasn't willing to do that. So.
it happens, and so she'll figure it out as she
Oh,
gets
yeah,
along,
she's gonna
save
buy
some
a
money,
house from me. She's just gotta,
save some
she
money.
gotta save some more
down
money
payment, yeah.
and get herself straightened out, so.
But to leave it on a good note, the one common denominator I saw throughout the three of you talking was that you all use Fidelity Bank. So if you're a newer agent, and you're new to the business, give us a shot.
Well,
I'm kidding about that,
send
but-
your rate updates. I just forward your email a lot. So if you can just make sure that you send it like every Friday or every Monday.
I'll keep
That's
saying
a good idea. Because a couple times I've gone back and said, oh, this one's 10 days old, let me check with Jeff.
right.
So if you can mark it on your calendar and it's not a big deal to send it out to us once a week, whatever
I
day
will.
you
Every
choose,
Friday.
then it's current and I forward it all the time. And I said, you can use this lender or not, but this is rates, what the rates are.
How would you send that? I mean, just to like everybody.
Send it global. I'll send
Okay.
it to the global
And
list.
then
so
you
can
send
see
it out? Okay.
He global, he sends it out to everyone. It comes out every Friday
And I
afternoon.
just forward it and said, here's a rate update so you can. kind of
Sometimes
see.
Mr. Time Manager's a little later than others.
Yeah, I sent it out one time and I got a nasty gram back from one of our agents. He's no longer with us, bless his heart, but he cussed me out on the email and said, why are you sending this to me? Well, I am a sponsor for the office, so I feel
No,
like
I
I'm
like
entitled
that.
to share some
Might be the
information.
reason he's no longer here.
He got mad, Not an email?
What's that? It was Roger Ackerman. He's no longer with us at all, so, sorry. It was it's funny now because he cussed me out and
He's
said,
such a nice guy.
"He's such a nice guy." And when he realized, I was like, Roger, did you know that you emailed me? And he's like, that was you? So it was a positive story, but anyways, I will send those, I'll keep sending those out and,
I like to receive them every week.
okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I'm
appreciate
used to
that.
that too.
All right, cool. Any questions? It's no time.
Mr. Scanlon, do we have someone new in the room?
We did.
Yeah, why were you looking at me?
You were staring me out and wondering where the heck you're going, so.
How can I get away with
I don't know. Well, you know what? That's not how we roll.
Stand up, let's go.
it? Seriously?
Introduce yourself.
Well, back, my rear is getting bigger, so I don't know. My name is Jamie Cooper. I'm actually, I've been in new home sales for about 15 years, so, changing, trying something new. Want to see my children more. I am used to working all the time, every weekend, and, you know, I have one that's graduating and I'm crying because I'm like, where did time go? So, love real estate. Love it, love it, love it. I don't know if I could do anything else. Don't know what else I would do. I'm like, you guys, all of you ladies, I mean, that's great for me because I'm around my kids and their football and their school things. And, you know, I've always had people ask me, can you help me? Well, no, I'm a new home salesperson. I have to stay right here. So I'm looking forward to being able to earn those people's business. And my husband's also a builder. He's been in construction about 20 years. So we are a family that talks about real estate and building, and we have to go, okay, I'm not talking about it right now. And then 5 minutes later, we start talking about it. We are not talking about this right now. So, and our kids have grown up in that, and so that's about me. So, and I'm so excited about being here. I think Robert and Rob and Terry have been great to me so far, and I just need to learn how to get listings. So,
Well, here's the best part. When you look around this room, there's not a single person in here that will reach out and help you. It's a pretty collaborative group, and I think you'll find they're pretty darn friendly, and you want to bend over backwards. And I'm pretty proud of the folks we have here because it always feels good in the bullpen versus feeling yucky.
yeah.
And it should feel good.
I mean, I went to a lot of places and I did not get the vibe anywhere else that I got from here, so it's good.
But we'll let you have that crazy, I feel like I'm free falling feel going.
I'm probably not gonna have it, so I'm like, what have I done? Oh my God, because I'm out of my comfort zone and I like my comfort zone, but I think it makes you a better person to get outside of it and you learn new things about yourself, so.
We're glad to have you.
I'm excited, thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Roger, come on up. I'm sorry, I meant to do it first and Mr. Swanson, I think you forgot, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I already did. Yeah.
Oh, you already waited for it?
Yeah, I already
Yeah,
embarrassed myself again. So.
Oh,
How many times I gotta
you
get
know, that's all right. Yeah, and you know what, you did awesome. Sorry. You know, I guess I should have been on
You
time.
have to watch that on the video.
And make sure you eat all the donuts.
Thank you.
good stuff.
Kevin,
We're good.
nothing?
CFPB coming up, so making those changes. Get ready to,
What is that, Kevin? See it?
I'm sorry, Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, the changes they're gonna make to the settlement statements. It's coming out
What is it?
August 1st, change,
48 hours?
3 days. The settlement statement will have to be to the buyers 3 days prior to closing, no changes after that. I'm just kind of doing my research now, I'm trying to figure out how that's all going to shake out with the attorneys. Whether the lender's gonna do it and send it to the attorneys to move on to you guys, or how it's all gonna shake out. And I think it's gonna come down to every lender's different. So we're gonna be adjusting on the fly as we go along, get toward the end of this, end of July. It's gonna be getting kind of crazy.
Do you think a lot of closings are gonna be pushed out? Because it quite often happens where within those 3 days, we're adjusting stuff.
Well, I'm hoping that the last minute adjustments like that like home warranties and that sort of thing, aren't going to require a new extension. And I'm hoping that the lenders will realize that that's it's only stuff that affects APR and the loan that has to be changed. So
not like walkthrough or repairs.
right, exactly, and they're taking that into consideration when I go on the CFPB site and look around and get these updates every day. They're taking that into consideration. What's that?
Adjustments on that, get it done early.
Well, yeah, anything you can do before that that expiration of that time is, we're just all gonna have to stay on top of our stuff better, basically. That's basically what it means for all of us, is that we need to stay on top of our stuff better. Instead of waiting until, I haven't ordered the home warranty yet. It might be a good idea to do that as soon as you get out of due diligence, right? Just get it ordered. What's that?
I said, I just wrote myself a note.
It's not just you. It's not just you. I promise you. I wouldn't mention it. Half the time, there's a lot of times now we'll close without it. That's crazy, isn't it? We close without it. We just don't give out. Everyone says, hey, I'm the contract. Sell it not to exceed $500. We put $500 home warranty, and then we're at closing going, hey, would you mind getting on the phone and ordering that home warranty that we just were paying for? Yeah. So it's not just you, it's everybody. So anyway, we just gotta keep on top of it as it gets closer.
So, Deb, you got anything for us?
I think we're good.
Paul?
We're good.
Rob?
We're good.
So, last thing. Whoop. Kimberly Yates is having a luncheon. Hey, and I don't know how I made such a bad copy of the PDF that went out today. Well, actually I did. Obviously y'all used this flyer quite a few times, so when you've gone over and over and over it, when you copy the PDF, so the copy you'll see on your email looks yucky. This is a fantastic house right on Adams Road, right off Chattahoochee. And one thing I do want to say to you guys, I did appreciate so many people going to the luncheons that we had out on the lake. That kind of stuff's very important to who? Mr. I'll tell you where Jessica was at Ivy Shaw, probably had 50 showings, not a single offer. They were quite pleased from the luncheon, thinking Jessica's the greatest thing since sliced bread. She shut the house last Wednesday at 10 o'clock and wrote it at 2 o'clock.
Oh, good.
But you know what their belief is? That luncheon was awesome. I'm like, well, she read it correct.
Yeah.
Okie doke, you're right.
Wish that had happened at my house.
So,
Get it time, Jimmy.
all right, so I'm assuming, is there anyone in the room that's not coming to training next week? Because I'm going to put your name on the
I don't
list.
know if I'm coming.
There's some people that are optional, some aren't.
I'll look. Don't put my name on
What day is
it?
Tuesday, instead of sales meeting, yep. And it's all day. So we're going to try, be comfortable. We'll try and make it, sometimes just the work's the work. Starts at 9 a.m. I don't care if you show up in your pajamas.
9 to when, Robert?
4 p.m.
He's wearing this big deal on painting for 90 changes.
Slopes will be out back.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hope to see you off the luncheon. Good job.
We did a good job.
Thank you.
House of Beauty.
They did the hair too?
Yep.
Anyone else nails?
Yep.
Yours too?
No.
Here, one of them,
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you. I swear. I'm more.
Oh my God.
You know what your strongest thing is?
Did she have fun?
Yes.
Jamie. Yeah, I mean, yeah. My husband's name is Jamie. You like fling your head around and you're like, who's calling my name? One of your own high school buddies.
Oh my gosh. Was it just her and her date?
No,
They have like
they had a
a
whole group.
Oh, good.
Well, it was a combination of.
They, have an after, did they go out to eat?
They went to.
Sell some more houses, girl.
Well, the guy who did her hair is a client of mine. So, yeah. Yeah.
So did they have after party or something?
Well, they went to, they didn't do an after party, they went to one of the girls in her group, to her house.
Okay.
Spend the night.
Well, the after party I got worried about anyways, you know, you never know what's going on there.
Right.
You're gonna go back to
I'm gonna try to.
Yeah.
We're just, yes.
I know.
It was a little quiet.